Hello there. After all the claims that the Leave campaign broke all the rules and somehow stole the referendum result, Leave.EU has decided it's time for payback. The Remoaning Remain campaigners are still bleating on about claims that the Leave campaign somehow spent vast oceans of money more than them and also managed to hypnotise the entire electorate over the internet. For some reason, a couple of people involved in the winning Vote Leave campaign have decided to try and invalidate the vote and come forward with all sorts of claims of overspending and collusion. Claims vehemently denied on the Vote Leave side. But these claims have been leapt on by gleeful Remainers looking for any chink in the Leave armour to try and get a new referendum, with lawyers being wheeled out talking about investigations and prosecutions. But now battle has been joined by another Leave group, Leave.EU, which has also been accused of referendum overspending. Just to refresh the memory, Vote Leave was the official Leave campaign, which contained all the Tory heavyweight Brexiteers, and Leave.EU was the outfit started by Aaron Banks and Richard Tice and included UKIP's Nigel Farage. Both groups operated independently for the same outcome. But now that the official group, Vote Leave, has come under pressure, Leave.EU has decided to weigh in and has launched Operation Payback. Our plan, says Leave.EU, is to turn the tables on the anti-democrats by scrutinising how Best for Britain has been spending its money, especially during the last general election. We're also going to look in detail at the support given to individual MPs and candidates who they shamefully called their anti-Brexit champions. And Leave.EU goes on to say that investigations have already found evidence suggesting some of the most obsessive Remain supporters, who are now accusing the Leave campaign of breaking the rules, themselves overspent to win their seats in Parliament. Pointing to the Lib Dem leader Vince Cable being referred to the police last year regarding claims of election overspending, Leave.EU said, "We don't intend to let the Brexit blockers get away with it. We're sure that you won't want them to either." Now to that crashing pound. But the problem for Remainers is that the pound is not crashing as they predicted it would. In fact, it has proven to be pretty stable over the last 18 months or so, despite the best efforts of Remain to talk down and derail the UK economy at every turn. Sterling is now above €1.15 and also hit its highest level against the euro for 11 months earlier this week. The pound has also been climbing steadily against the dollar since the end of 2016 and has either been holding its own or advancing against other major currencies. The further repercussions of this include a reduction in upward pressure on inflation. How will Remain explain this away in the coming months? But the downside is that it may also lead to a reduced demand for UK goods around the world, if the pound strengthens too much. The Remainers will leap on that one, so be ready for it. Moving on, it turns out that the EU isn't as keen to get a quick Brexit deal as the UK is. David Davis had previously set in train a move to get hundreds of UK civil servants into 50 Brexit negotiating groups to forge ahead with talks in the next round of negotiations. But, reports The Times, senior figures in the EU Council and EU Commission say that the UK had not put forward a proposal for these working groups, so they would be rejected. And one EU diplomat told The Telegraph that there will be no negotiation strands, no hundreds of British negotiators. Trade negotiations will not start properly until after the 29th of March 2019. Before that, we must get the fundamentals right. So the EU seems to be content to string the talks out for as long as possible. no doubt hoping that the UK Remain campaign will somehow give them an advantage as senior UK anti-Brexit politicians actively work against the interests of their own country. Well, in reality, these politicians see the EU as their country, not the UK, which they see as just a sort of county to the EU. I would even guess that ardent Scots Nats see the EU and Scotland in that same way, and nothing will now persuade me otherwise. But the Remainers are fighting a losing battle. The clock is ticking fast against them and, as I've said before, the window for a second referendum is either closing or has already closed, with the shutters now down and locked in place too. And speaking to the Express, Professor Anand Menon, who is the director of the UK in a Changing Europe research group and Professor of European Politics and Foreign Affairs at King's College London, has also said basically the same thing. It's very, very hard to see how we get from where we are now to a second referendum, he said. Now to the motor trade. Although Jaguar Land Rover has said it will cut 1,000 contract jobs due to uncertainty caused by Brexit and, don't forget, the demonisation of diesel cars, one piece of news that may have passed you by is that the Ford Motor Company has committed to staying in the UK after Brexit because it is a fundamental part of the company globally, according to Jim Farley, the Executive Vice President of Global Markets for Ford, speaking at the unveiling in London of the fourth generation of the Ford Focus. Mr. Farley also said that the company was very encouraged by the way the transitional agreement was panning out. There you go. Still not all Brexit doom and gloom, is it? So, please let us all know what you think by leaving a comment below. But also don't forget to grab the video link and share it across Facebook, Twitter and by email. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like and share this video. And also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.